Alright. So, why does she do it to herself, man? Why is she always going at the guys that treat her like dirt, man? I'm standing right here! Well, oh, you want a guy so nice? I'm standing right here! I'm here. I'm nice. I treat you so well. Like, I'm just... why don't you want me? Why do you want these douchebags that kick you around and treat you like dirt? Why do you want them, and why don't you want me? Me! Fuck. I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. You've had all these videos on YouTube, and I'm gonna try and give my original perspective to it. However, I am kind of basing what I know off of what I've heard and learned. So, first thing, if you're one of those nice guys out there, or if you're just one of those guys in particular that wonders why women are constantly allowing themselves to be, you know, I mean, before the women jump on me, not all of you are doing it, okay? Just a bit. Just those few, alright? To the women, for the guys who wonder why some women let themselves get destroyed by douchebags, or just why they even settle for them at all, is because they don't really have another choice. So here's the thing. I'm trying to make sure my head's in the frame. I don't know. Fuck it. But here's the thing, yo. To the nice guys who wonder so hard on why they're taking the douchebags versus you, well, we have to understand the nature of them. Let's think about it. Men and women are polar opposites. They are, right? A man has certain qualities about himself that are completely opposite to the woman. The woman has completely different roles. They have completely different physicalities and features and moods and just psychological advances. They are the polar opposites of each other. Therefore, why we have so much difficulty understanding one another, right? Why men say women are so complicated, women say, oh, men are so complicated, right? Because we're polar opposites. There's no way we can understand each other, right? Until we understand the other side. But that's a different subject, okay? Now, here's the thing. Here's the nature of the what we're going to call the mean guy versus the nice guy, right? Let's take the nature of the mean guy, right? He's kind of actually, let's take the nature of the nice guy first, because once I give you a little more explanation, you'll understand. The nice guy treats his women amazingly. I mean, you couldn't ask for such a nicer person. He's so respectful towards him. He tells them what he wants to hear. He makes them feel so great about themselves. He just constantly shows love. And it's so amazing how much he expresses all these things to her. And he still doesn't get him. He still doesn't get the fucking woman. Right? You know why? Think about what I just said. He constantly makes the woman feel good. He shows nothing but love. He reassures her every time. He's making a mistake here. And I'll tell you what it is after we explain the nature of the mean guy. The mean guy is kind of the guy who rolls around, thinks he owns the place. I'm here. Women want to get on this dick, right? They want me. I'm running it. No man can fuck with me. They're egotistic as hell, right? Now, let's think about what I just said. I mean, these guys treat women horribly. I mean, they're fucking rude. They don't care about them for the most part. And when they do, it becomes an object to them. It becomes my possession. I own you, bitch. You know? It becomes that type of predicament. Women don't want to be in that. The fuck? Ain't nobody trying to have time for that. Fuck no. So what happens? There's no alternative. What has to happen? Who do you think the woman is going to take? Let's think about the nature of the man for a second. The man is supposed to be confident, assertive. He's the hunter. Think about the Mars symbol, right? The circle and then the outward energy. The sword. He goes outward, right? He goes out into battle, right? Think about that. The man is supposed to be a man. You've heard what a man is supposed to be. He's supposed to be confident. He's supposed to be strong. Not someone that says, oh, you look, oh, you're so amazing, and constantly reassures them. Essentially being a yes man. Now, we all know we don't want yes men. Maybe if you're a narcissist, you like that type of shit. And that might be the only reason you keep the nice guy around if you're a lady. Nice guys, you aren't giving the woman what she's looking for. You're being the yes man, and you're making the biggest fucking mistake of all that the mean guys are doing the complete opposite of. While the mean guys put the females below them, you're putting them above you. And that's the problem. On both ends. You're placing a superiority. Now, I'm not going to really worry about the mean guys. I'm going to talk to the nice guys here from this point now. Okay? When you place her on the pedestal, right? You have essentially put her in a position where you're worshiping this lady, man. Like, she's everything to you. And I know how this feels because I've done this with women before. And it's not good. Like, it translates into your behavior in such a bad way because you've placed them as this great universe, this whole beautiful human that is just better than everything else in life, right? She's above everything, and she's the most important thing. She's the goddess of all goddesses, right? When you put her in a position that high versus you, there's something that it does. One, it beats down your confidence really hard. I swear it does. I don't care if you guys want to say. When you place a woman so high, your confidence, you've psychologically put it down, right? Because you feel you're trying to match to her, but you can't because you're constantly viewing her as this almighty figure, like she's fucking God. And she's not. She's no better or worse than you. Women have bodily functions the same way you do. They live life the same way you do. You are polar opposites. She is not polar superiority or polar, in this case, inferiority. It's not a case of that. It's an equality, but they're opposites. The man is opposite to the woman. The woman is the yin. She's the more, what's the word? Can't even think of a fucking word right now. Submissive, right? Kind of the more calm, kind of the more empathetic side, right? The more allowing energy. While yang is up in your fucking face, right? Yin is all calm and grounded. Yang is all here, right? So they balance. That's why there's polar opposite, right? They balance it. So when you're one of those nice guys that's supposed to be the yang, obviously if you're a man, you're not always 24/7. But when you're the man and all you're showing her is yin, you're asking her to marry a woman. You've castrated yourself. One, you put her on the pedestal. You've placed her superior. Now your confidence and your self-esteem has been placed lower psychologically because you've placed her superior to you as a nice guy. Because you just love her and respect her and want her so much, and you're just so great to her when you put her on this pedestal above everybody else. Right? She's no better. She's better than everybody. She's the most important thing, like I just said. And where do you stand? Nowhere? Like, come on. Think about that for a second. And you expect her to like you when you're constantly being a yin to her. You're of yin. You are not of yang here. And anytime you try to pull off yang when you put a woman on a pedestal, it usually is pretty cringy. Because it just doesn't work. You're not... in a state of confidence. You're not in a state of balanced equality. You are in a position of princess and servant, right? Where you're just, please notice me, but you've done nothing because you placed her as this princess and you're this measly little servant that can't get her attention. So when you do try to get her attention, you've placed yourself psychologically in a place where she doesn't see a reason to view you as significant. So when you're complaining that why she ain't taking a nice guy, she want a mean guy, is because the mean guy actually reflects yang better than the guy who's constantly raising her up. A woman does not want to be sucked off on. Right? I mean, what's the alternative, man? Is she gonna take a little boy, who's constantly sucking on her titties and praising her as this goddess? Or does a woman want a man who shows that yang energy and is dominant and is confident? He's his own person, right? It's the only alternative she's got. She's gonna be more attracted to the guy who carries himself with honor versus somebody who only places their value to you. Right? To the lady. When you're placing your value only on her, and where's yours? Where these guys, they've got all the value on themselves and they don't place any on them. What's the alternative? They're not going to take a guy who's essentially no different than a baby kid. Like their child. A woman wants a man, not a child. A child is a whole different perspective. That's nurture. That's to care for. That's not romance. That's not sex. That's not getting down with love, man. It's a whole different world. So I mean, ask yourself, man, are you trying to be your kid or are you trying to be your fucking man? Right? And I'm getting high pitched, so I need to bring the shit low. Right? So think about that for a second. And be honest with yourself right now, you know. Have I placed this woman on a pedestal? That's the first thing you need to do. Have I placed her in a position? And it's hard to be honest with yourself because you'll probably start crying if you're emotional like me. Have I placed her on a position where she's better than me? Right? Then second, you need to ask yourself, what am I looking for out of this? Am I just her friend? Am I actually looking to engage? And then three, how can we balance each other out? Right? Now here's the thing. Women are not all yin and men are not all yang. There is a balance in between the both forces. However, the natures are still opposite. If that makes sense, right? Men have more yang, more testosterone than we do estrogen, being our yin. Women, they have a lot of yin, a lot of estrogen, but their testosterone is that yang, but they only have a little bit of it. Does that make sense? Their yang is a little bit compared to their yin. So, but they're still majority opposites, okay? It's not about superiority. Nice guys, women aren't looking to get hurt. They just don't have a better fucking option when it's you versus this mean guy. Okay? Now, with that being said, there's a third guy that comes into the mix. And this is the guy that does the best. The guy who's just real. Okay? The guy who's not placing her on the pedestal, but he's not in an egotistic position to put her below as an object. Right? He's not praising a goddess, nor is he treating someone as an object. He's at the balance. He's eye to eye. He sees women as important as he is. But he doesn't place it higher, nor does he think he's better. He just sees it as equal. It's fair. You are a woman that is opposite to me. I respect you and I maybe have feelings for you, but I don't put you in a position where you're better than me. You're not better than me. And I'm not better than you. What happens is when you put yourself in the state of that equality is you've bought the level You've brought the goddess down back to humanity, back to the ground. And now because both of you are on the ground, right? Both of y'all are grounded, or at least you should be grounded, right? Bring that praise back to the earth. Bring it to reality. Alter the love through reality, not through a fantasy. Okay? But you don't have to put her in a position where she's lower and you own the motherfucker. Right? Fair. I love you. I appreciate you. You're great. You don't have to per se, I don't think you're better than me. You don't have to say all that. You just have to know, and it'll vibrate with you, because now you've placed your confidence level on an equal playing field as hers. You view yourselves as equal playing fields, therefore you can play on the fair game. Right? So that's all it is. And I'm going to give you a cue right now that I learned from Infinite Waters on how to put it. You took a shit this morning? Well, you took a shit sometime this day. So did that girl. Both of y'all went to use the bathroom and took a shit at some point. Just think about that. Okay? Both of y'all took shits. It's pretty disgusting. Okay? So when you're placing her on the pedestal, does it really make sense when both of y'all took a shit this morning? Or whenever? You feel what I'm saying? Like, equal. Get on the same level and then play from there. Right? It's a lot harder to try and climb that mountain going up, because it's not going to work. She ain't going to hear you. When you put her in a position where she's all the way up here, she's not even going to hear you screaming from down there. You're a joke when it comes to romance. Nice guys, okay? And get on the same level. Bring yourselves to an equal playing field. Get eyes locked. Let your confidence take course. Be courageous. Right? When you're scared of it. Because that's another thing. You guys might just be scared. Get on the same level. Put your courage out. And then do what you do from there. Girls aren't looking to get hurt by guys. They just don't have a better choice when it comes to nice guys. Okay?